Hello, this is day one. I'm chronicling my anthropologic and archaeological studies that I've been doing for the last 15 years. So, in this case study, I've been studying one specific subset of females, and with this, I've actually come to a conclusion. And I want to write. I wrote this out, and I hope this is actually realistic because I think I might have the wrong book. Oh, give me just a second. Now, bear with me. This is some graphic content. So, here we go. I've been doing a lot of case analysis on what it means to be alive, per se. So here we go. This is documentation about 2 days ago. I believe this might have been what date? Probably June 8th. This is my interaction with a female, and this was my subsidized understanding of what I could offer her in response to whatever she was critically thinking in her head when she said these words to me. These were the few words. "You hurt my feelings," quote unquote. Good. The reprobate mentally ill female mind is truthfully only dangerous if you do not educate yourself. For through any case study analysis, we find that whether male or female brains only shift towards a power dynamic in society or any other social situation. As in place for a mental explanation or reasoning for these behaviors, we couldn't find one. It could be said that it is like, I know you are, but what am I? Just like a child. But that is giving too less credit. Although saying it is like stealing candy from a baby is a bit too much advanced. Such is the middle ground for the mentally ill female, or male per se in this case, as for the only vying reason, for one to compare or complain against logical conclusion, would be in fact emotional in terms of personal bias toward a male's comma, or what was it, hyphen? I don't remember. Intellect. Here we go. Based simply on the traditional sense of committing to a self-defense to defer any allocation of accountability, and this ideal, the patient or victim elicits contractions of the brain and parts of preliminary understanding for body functionality. Such understanding with no bias to truth, in turn of childlike ignorance, can cause even the strangest of men, or rather the strongest, to turn to a violent state just off of the precipice of societal standards at even just the lower levels of notorietal positions that are being held. For this, I wonder what women of this nature would be useful for, aside from being in positions to look pretty and give ideas that would otherwise be useless if all but any case of them being there and necessarily just there, even trying to find out a reason to understand why they would be. Such abuse is nothing more than a blight to humanity if left unchecked to these quote-unquote procedures allocated to such individuals. By benefactor, we could say abuse of such things are easier done than said. As for any reasonable instinctual reaction to this is deemed irrational to modern societal standard. This not only protects bad behaviors by excusing the patient's illness, quote unquote, but also carries over an influence on others if left in the same societal situations for various periods of time. Thus leading to need an explanation for females left unchecked with these behavioral patterns out in societal institutions. Though this is suited better for an analysis examined later when dealing with the female, could be male as well, dependent. But this is what I'm trying to say, is if there's no good explanation for a reason as to why you treat somebody so badly or, emotionally getting distracted about any other, precept or understanding for why we're mad at somebody, we can conclude an explanation. But the one thing that I think society doesn't do well, or humans in general, is the overlapping factor of societal or classified standards, like per se we're in a caste system, like this is India or some shit. And we got the lower end, we get the getting there, we got the middle ground, we got the middle kind of there, and then we got the big, and then we got the really, really big. Okay, once we start working down the ladder, we can't actually differentiate unless you actually have a brain or probably a spiritual essence of something called, like, I guess these would be like Shinigami eyes, like, you know, from like Death Note, you like make a curse with a pact with like some kind of death god, and you're able to see the distinctual functioning of like the human, their brain antithesis, right above them. Okay, everything that needs to be stated: days, months, years, and then name. So now we could essentially understand how the female brain works when we can get to a conceptual level of how to use the gears that turn around inside of us with a spiritual essence. And by this, I have found one conclusive evidence situated in my brain from having differential contact with multiple females. And this is where we got to. So this is the female brain right here. Just give me a second. I don't want him to succeed. Make sure he can't play right. Stop him from being successful. Make sure the spell doesn't come back to me. Watch me maneuver with finesse as he suffers. Watch him be humiliated in front of my peers. Give him false gratification. The clock strikes cock for adherence to truth. Also, the last pinpoint that we have here is be a Starbucks barista. Now, when we go get our coffees at the Starbucks and we correlate what we're possibly drinking, you have to remember this is proven statements, facts, understanding from a Starbucks barista. You could get a lot of spiritual essence from drinking the very mucus from a Starbucks barista who's probably been out partying all night doing cocaine and getting dicked down, quote unquote. You see, the matriarchy might not agree with me, but I agree with myself when I say it's nice to drink some coffee when we have mucus in it, as long as the female knows what she's doing. I don't want somebody's spatule STD herpes from some weird coalition of hobos that want to stick me with needles and stuff, okay? That's fine. We all have positions like a caste system, okay? Now, we can work up the food chain, as stated. I think the last video I explained that maybe we could even go up to Epstein, right? But that's not going to fix your problems, because Epstein, I don't even think, can fix his own problems, even if the man was still alive, per se. But with these realizations, we have to be very careful. You can be easily influenced by a female to do anything. Like even go out and deliver DoorDash or go skateboard or something. I don't know. But one thing I'll say. The mentally ill mind is not something to be tampered with. If you start sticking your orifices, thingy inside something, you got to be careful about what you're playing with. It's like fire. And if my warnings of my observations in the past, I don't know, two weeks haven't given you insight to even just 5 seconds of what the female brain is thinking when she makes your coffee, you need to be very careful, okay? Talk to a few of these females. They'll drug you. They'll do a lot of things to you, okay? You gotta be really careful. Why does my coffee taste like Fruit Loops? Why does this weird THC blend make me retarded when I wake up in the morning? Are you questioning the people that are making your beverages or the people you hang around with? This is a question we need to ask ourselves. Per se, the essence of being better men is, I guess, to ignore these problems and let females get away with it. I think this is how we cohabitate with these problems. We forget they exist and we simply move on in our life and continuously do shitty things because we can't formulate a reason to snap back at somebody and undoubtedly make them upset. And I guess it only makes them worse. You call me a crazy person. Hey, I've tried. But with this inducive, intrinsic, idealized system by the female brain that is constitutionalized for mentally ill, we need to be very, very careful. Okay, I think that's my elongated speech that I wanted to tell you about. Because some of us don't know how to act right, and we have to be better people. We have to protect those that are mentally ill. Okay? Because if we don't understand how they work, we don't understand why we're having problems, we don't understand why society is being destroyed. Well, just maybe sit down for a few minutes, ask yourself, all this retarded ass fancy jargon that this fucking psychopathic Doulahan looking ass motherfucker with his weird haircut and his fancy fucking silver tongue. We need to understand why he's talking. Okay? Maybe we should look into these concepts. How about we not get upset about it? How about we start pinpointing the reasons? Some people want to start a race war. I don't see any problem with it. You know what I do see a problem with, though? Is accusing people for no reason. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, or blue. Okay? Anybody can have these problems just like you. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Actually, you can find that many people just like you, whether they're this color, that color, or whatever color, are kind of thinking the same thing. You think, oh, that shit's fucked up. And actually, you might be able to relate with them quite well. So, you got to be careful. Okay? You need to be careful. I'd say that one of the more dangerous aspects of what you can do on a daily basis is hanging out with deranged, mentally ill females. If she has more than 3 people on her phone, you need some help. And you need to get away from her. Okay? I'm just saying that from personal experience. You're bringing home spirits from who knows where. I don't know where this woman's been. Maybe she's in Epstein's pool. I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. We all have to watch ourselves out there. And I wish you the best of luck. With my endeavors, I continue down this path. And I find spiritual to psychological to mentally physiological essence to be understood each and every day. And I hope you can find the same perception of truth that you could find anywhere else on this earth with just quantifiably trying to figure yourself out in essence of others that you study and analyze.